You've been nominated by Governor Reeves to serve on what we call the Mississippi Public for Broadcasting. And we have the completed background and things of your nature. If you could please, one of the standards under the statute is that you have a background in public broadcasting, education, and so forth. So if you could go ahead and tell the committee what makes you think that you are qualified to serve on this board for Mississippi Public for Broadcasting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to the members of the committee. My history is relatively diverse in that I've practiced law for 10 years. I worked for a time period as a radio host at TeleSouth Broadcasting, and then also have been engaged in public policy at both the state and national level, including regular interaction with both state and national boards of fairly large nonprofits. So I was honored by the request from Governor Reeves to serve in this capacity. Obviously, it's a volunteer position, but one that I would take extremely seriously. I think the way that I look at sort of the conglomeration, if you will, of experience that goes behind the nomination, my goal would be to bring sort of reason and level-headedness to the position, to ensure that there's compliance with existing state law, to ensure that there's compliance with existing regulation, to ensure that ultimately the resources that the legislature decides to appropriate to the entity are used and stewarded in a way that actually advance the mission that the legislature has dictated. And so I'm honored by the nomination and the consideration, and happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
Okay. Thank you. Based upon the peer background indicates there's no criminal history, no felony or misdemeanor convictions here.
Speeding tickets, if I'm honest. I don't know what that counts as, but I know I've had 3 in the last 5 years or so.
Okay. That certainly won't disqualify you, I believe. So let me open it up to the committee. If the committee has any questions for Mr. Latino this time. If there aren't, Senator Polk.
This is just a confirmation. It says that you lived in Virginia, I believe.
I did, yes, sir.
And Peer did not check any court records up there. Can you assure us there's nothing that happened up there? Did you get arrested? Are you in any court cases? Is anything derogatory if we went up there?
No, sir, there's not. I mean, I've got a speeding ticket there 2 years ago. But no, there's no arrest and there's no court cases or anything like that pending in Virginia.
Okay. Thank you, Senator Polk. Senator Blunt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Latino, for your willingness to serve, and I appreciate you calling me personally to talk to me this morning. And I'll just, for the benefit of the committee, I'll ask you what we talked about on the phone this morning. Your commitment to the mission of Mississippi Public Broadcasting and its importance to the people of the state.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, if I'm being asked to serve on the board of an organization, then my commitment is going to be to the success of that organization and the mission that's been put in front of us by the legislature, but in what the group has done for the last 50 years as well. So there's no doubt in my mind that there's a commitment there to make sure that we're successful.
Thank you.
All right, and Mr. Latino, is there anything in your background or that you're aware of that would bring discredit upon the governor, lieutenant governor, or the state senate if your nomination were confirmed?
Yeah, not that I'm aware of. I will say if there's been a nice little rumor mill since I got back from Virginia, but the rumors surrounding that are untrue. There was no arrest or anything like that. So,
yeah. So there's nothing that would be discredited upon the governor, lieutenant governor, or the state senate? Okay, thank you. Senator Jordan.
Back in the state of Mississippi.
So I came back in June of 2020.
2020?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I want to know. I knew you've been in Virginia. Just wanted to know how long you've been back in the state. Okay. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have any further questions? Do we have a motion? Senator McClendon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I see that you have been involved with some organizations that give legislatures grades depending on how they vote. Do you plan on doing the same with Mississippi Public Broadcasting?
To give grades to legislators?
No. To Mississippi Public Broadcasting, possibly.
No, Senator. I do not. You know, when the governor asked if I would do this, part of the consideration was that currently my job is oriented around public policy and thinking through solutions for the state. And I thought pretty deeply about it. There really are, in my mind, there's a pretty big separation between the things that I work on with my public policy work and the work of Mississippi Public Broadcasting, where I don't see any intersection, I don't see any conflict, and was comfortable after thinking about it that there wasn't any conflict between the two.
Thank you, Senator McClendon. Any further questions by any member? Do we have a motion? Okay. The motion by Senator Hobson is we do advise and consent. You heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Thank you, Ms. Latino.
Thank you.
Your nomination will be reported.